Airports have always felt like transitional spaces, liminal zones where time crawls and rules bend. Yet nothing can prepare the average flyer for the seismic jolt of policy changes that have just been announced. From the moment these measures were unveiled, social media feeds erupted, news anchors scrambled for expert commentary, and travelers everywhere felt an uneasy knot in their stomachs. The friendly hum of departure boards and rolling suitcases is set to be drowned out by the tense buzz of uncertainty as the skies brace themselves for a profound transformation. The promise is heightened security, but the price tag is autonomy, anonymity, and perhaps even the last sliver of personal comfort that travelers once cherished. Unpacks the sweeping overhaul, dissects the motivations behind every clause, and explores the real-world implications hidden beneath the political fanfare. Imagine arriving 3 hours early, with every document neatly organized, only to realize the familiar procedure has morphed into an intricate labyrinth of digital checkpoints and biometric scans. The sentiment across terminals shifts from mild impatience to guarded vigilance as screeners wield new authority drawn from an executive directive that has already polarized the nation. Lines snake farther than most runways, and the atmosphere feels charged, teetering between compliance and resistance. The rationale offered by officials centers on closing vulnerabilities and staying one step ahead of evolving threats. Yet the abruptness of implementation leaves little room for the public to understand, much less adapt. Air travel, once and occasionally tedious but predictable ritual, is being re-engineered into a crucible where privacy, technology, and governance fuse into an experiment nobody volunteered for. At the heart of the controversy lies an unprecedented demand. Every traveler must be prepared to surrender access to personal social media accounts on request. Electronic gates no longer just verify boarding passes, they function as portals into digital identities that, until now, remained largely outside government reach during travel. Agents scrolling through timelines, comments, and private messages in search of ideological red flags elevate the screening process from a physical security exercise into a psychological probe. The justification points to the digital breadcrumbs historically left by bad actors. Yet critics warn that context is everything, and algorithms or time-pressed officers may misinterpret satire, sarcasm, or dissent as dangerous intent. The mere possibility of being grounded for a post shared years earlier casts a long shadow over online expression, nudging users towards self-censorship in a bid to keep future travel plans intact. At the heart of the controversy lies an unprecedented demand. Every traveler must be prepared to surrender access to personal social media accounts on request. Electronic gates no longer just verify boarding passes, they function as portals into digital identities that, until now, remained largely outside government reach during travel. Agents scrolling through timelines, comments, and private messages in search of ideological red flags elevate the screening process from a physical security exercise into a psychological probe. The justification points to the digital breadcrumbs historically left by bad actors. Yet critics warn that context is everything, and algorithms or time-pressed officers may misinterpret satire, sarcasm, or dissent as dangerous intent. The mere possibility of being grounded for a post shared years earlier casts a long shadow over online expression, nudging users towards self-censorship in a bid to keep future travel plans intact. Moving beyond convenience, social media has long served as a modern scrapbook and a forum for spirited debate. Under the new regime, that scrapbook risks becoming a permanent dossier, and that debate could be reframed as suspicion. Data retention policies remain opaque, sparking fears that sensitive information might linger in databases longer than officially stated. Once stored, such data often spills into interagency pipelines, accessible to entities far removed from aviation. The chilling effect is immediate. The once casual act of liking a provocative meme, critiquing a public official, or signing an online petition is now weighed against the practical necessity of catching a flight. Travelers find themselves rehearsing internal checklists, passport, ticket, charger, followed by a mental purge of anything online that could be misconstrued. The invisible toll on free discourse accumulates long before anyone reaches the baggage carousel. For years, trusted traveler programs like TSA PreCheck and Global Entry embodied the promise that risk-based screening could coexist with an efficient passenger experience. Frequent flyers invested time, fingerprints, and fees in exchange for shorter queues and fewer hassles. All of that stands on a precarious ledge, as the new directive hands authorities the discretion to revoke these privileges without warning or recourse. Travelers accustomed to breezing through dedicated lanes now confront the possibility of sudden relegation to general screening, branded high risk by an algorithm they have never met. The bewilderment that follows is not merely an inconvenience. It is a collision with an opaque system that offers no explanation, no timetable for reinstatement, and no formal avenue to dispute the judgment. The airport becomes a courtroom without a judge, jury, or transcript. Modern security infrastructures rely heavily on machine learning, ingesting vast datasets to flag anomalies faster than any human could. However, the underlying code remains proprietary and largely shielded from public scrutiny. Bias can lurk. In training data, replication of historical inequities can go unchecked, and error rates, though statistically low, translate into real people missing flights, losing money, and enduring reputational damage. In the absence of transparency, travelers cannot verify why they have been reclassified or how to clear their names. The psychological strain of anticipating an algorithmic verdict hangs thick in the air, adding a new layer of stress to an already taxing environment. Authorities tout adaptive learning and continuous improvement, but that offers little comfort to someone standing barefoot on cold linoleum while their belongings are dismantled for additional inspection due to a glitch only. The system understands, even before reaching the checkpoint, passengers step into a web of cameras now augmented by facial recognition capabilities. Each lens serves as a silent sentinel, capturing angles that feed real-time comparisons against databases ranging from criminal watch lists to immigration records. The technology promises frictionless identity verification, theoretically shaving minutes off the boarding process, yet the deployment is compulsory and universal. There is no discrete form to sign, no alternate queue for those uneasy with biometric. Harvest. The scan happens seamlessly, almost invisibly, and with that effortless scan goes one of the most immutable identifiers a person possesses, the geometry of a face. Supporters herald reduced wait times and improved security, but they sidestep the question of consent by framing participation as a condition of carriage rather than a personal choice. Technical reports reveal that facial recognition systems, while impressive, stumble disproportionately when analyzing certain demographics. Variations in skin tone, age, lighting, and even hairstyle can nudge confidence scores below acceptable thresholds, triggering false positives that escalate into secondary screening or outright denial of boarding. Research institutions have documented gaps, and civil rights groups echo the warnings, yet the rollout presses forward with momentum reminiscent of earlier surveillance programs that later demanded reform. The promise that facial scans will be purged within hours clashes with historical patterns in which data retention grows quietly over time, often justified by new investigative uses or unforeseen security threats. The boundary between temporary capture and permanent record blurs, tightening the net around personal privacy with each revision of policy. None of these systems operate in isolation. Social media screenings, revocable fast-track credentials, and biometric checkpoints weave together into a consolidated matrix that can trace a traveler's digital opinions, physical movements, and biometric markers with startling fidelity. This integrated surveillance architecture appeals to those tasked with safeguarding the skies, yet it also centralizes an extraordinary degree of control. Historically, data collected for singular purposes has proven irresistible for secondary exploitation. Commercial partnerships, predictive policing, and political analysis all loom as potential avenues for data drift. The average passenger cannot easily grasp the scope of information accumulated in a single trip, nor the myriad ways it could be queried in the future. Power concentrates quietly, often outpacing the laws designed to restrain it. In public statements, officials lean heavily on the mantra that evolving threats demand evolving tactics. They reference incidents thwarted through digital forensics and underscore the perils of complacency. But the line between prudent vigilance and pervasive surveillance is thin, and once crossed, it rarely retracts. Supporters argue that if a measure saves even one life, it justifies inconvenience or diminished privacy. Detractors counter that a continuously expanding security net risks engulfing the very freedoms it purports to protect. The debate unfolds on talk shows, in comment sections, and across legislative chambers, Yet the policies move forward regardless of consensus, propelled by executive authority and the institutional momentum of homeland security agencies. Domestic routes, once viewed as quick hops, are poised to adopt protocols resembling international departures. Travelers accustomed to spontaneous weekend trips may now budget additional hours simply to navigate layered inspections. Smaller regional airports, historically spared the brunt of intensive screening, must retrofit facilities to accommodate biometric hardware and expanded interview zones, passing costs onto airlines and, ultimately, ticket buyers. The economic repercussions ripple outward. Missed connections trigger rebooking cascades, delays erode airline punctuality metrics, and customer satisfaction scores dip as frustrations mount. Loyalty programs lose some of their sheen when expedited. Benefits can vanish overnight, reshaping the competitive landscape among carriers vying for repeat business. Globally, aviation thrives on reciprocity agreements and harmonized standards. As the United States implements more intrusive measures, foreign governments may mirror the approach, creating a feedback loop that ratchets up scrutiny worldwide. Alternatively, some nations might balk, seeing the policies as excessive, thereby complicating code-share partnerships and pre-clearance arrangements. Diplomatic strains could surface if travelers from certain regions experience disproportionate flagging, further entangling security measures with geopolitics. Tourists weighing destinations may rethink itineraries altogether, opting for routes that avoid the most restrictive hubs, while multinational corporations recalculate travel budgets and risk assessments for employees. What begins as a domestic edict reverberates through the networks that stitch together global mobility. The friction between national security priorities and constitutional protections intensifies in confined spaces like airport queues, where the urgency of catching a flight can override the impulse to challenge authority. Legal advocacy groups brace for a surge of cases testing Fourth Amendment boundaries and due process rights. Some foresee courtroom battles over compelled social media disclosure and indefinite biometric storage, while others anticipate legislative countermeasures aimed at carving out clearer limits. The adversarial process is slow, yet each lawsuit and congressional hearing chips away at ambiguities, forcing policy architects to justify every clause under scrutiny. In the meantime, travelers navigate a legal gray zone where consent is implied by the act of purchasing a ticket, and resistance risks both delay and financial loss. In practical terms, anyone planning to fly must now engage in a pre-trip ritual that extends beyond packing and online check-in. Privacy settings undergo meticulous audits, old posts disappear into deletion logs, and facial coverings that once provided pandemic-era reassurance now raise questions about biometric compatibility. Seasoned road warriors swap tips on minimalist digital footprints, from using encrypted messaging apps to traveling with limited function devices. Casual vacationers, unfamiliar with cybersecurity nuances, rely on the patchwork advice of influencers. And travel bloggers scrambling to optimize content for a paradigm that shifted overnight. Travel insurance policies, traditionally focused on lost luggage and medical emergencies, evolved to address denied boarding stemming from algorithmic misfires. As implementation progresses, media coverage oscillates between headline-grabbing anecdotes of thwarted plots and harrowing tales of innocent travelers ensnared by false flags. Televised hearings showcase impassioned testimonies from experts in counterterrorism, civil liberties, technology ethics, and data science, each presenting models, statistics, and cautionary tales. The national conversation takes on a life of its own, influencing elections, shaping corporate social responsibility statements, and spawning grassroots campaigns that either champion the new vigilance or condemn it as dystopian overreach. The narrative is further complicated by economic stakeholders, airlines, airport authorities, tech vendors, each lobbying for adjustments that either streamline compliance or mitigate cost. What emerged as a unilateral announcement matures into a sprawling, multifaceted contest over the soul of modern travel. The runway lights stretch into the distance, guiding aircraft into uncertain skies that carry more than passengers. They carry the weight of a societal crossroads. The policies under discussion do not merely tweak procedure, they redefine the threshold between public safety and personal sovereignty. Travelers stand at the intersection of convenience and conformity, asked to trade visibility for passage, silence for speed. Whether these measures deliver on their promise of heightened security remains to be proven, but their immediate impact on privacy and agency is palpable. The future of flight is being drafted in real time, line by line, scan by scan, click by click. Awareness is the first boarding pass to any informed stance, and complacency is no longer an option. The next time the intercom crackles with boarding calls, every traveler will carry more than luggage. They will carry the collective consequence of decisions made at the highest echelons of power.